After our last video, I've been getting some questions about land and property and, where to find stuff. So let's go on a little walk and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. A lot of times, you're going to find your best deals just by talking to people. And here's an example. See this here? And down here? These are all in the last year have been recently developed, and they have been nowhere online. A year ago, this was just a field. Now there's a road here, there's houses. There's, looks like it's sectioned off into 100 square meter lots here. Maybe some a little bit smaller. But just by talking to people is how you're gonna find out about this. Now there's chunks like this all over this area for sure. I'm in Mercedes right now, in Zamboanga City. Until we build, when we come here, we just stay at my mother-in-law's house. But this will give you an idea here of what 100 square meters is. So here to here, that's a 100 square meter lot. It's not huge, but it's big enough for most houses people build here in this area. And along this road, I mean, behind me, you can probably see, or we can show you, up here, then down here, then down here. Here's a smaller one. There's about 50 square meters right there. If you didn't know this was getting built or know somebody, you would have never heard about it. You would have never had the opportunity. So that's what I'm talking about. Just talking to people. There was a house on the corner back here that we just drove by. The owner passed away, and then we didn't find out about it till right before it sold. And my wife's mom told us, I think, or her sister. But that would have been perfect for like a rental house, which is what I think someone did. They bought it and are renting it out. And that was only like a 50 square meter lot and house. I'm not sure if we even had the money at the time for that, but that wouldn't have been too bad. It would have been affordable, and then would have been a rental house right by, my wife's family, so they could have collected for us whether we were here or not. But this road goes all the way back up in here. And then, down here, especially back behind me over here, it's just crops and farmland. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you, if all this isn't for sale also. I have no idea who to even talk to about this, but that's where you just have to ask around, If you just drive around, one of my favorite things to do back home, because I travel for work, I like to just drive around when I go to a new state or a new town, just check stuff out. If you got a motorcycle or something and you just do that here, you can find stuff like this, and there's going to be a sorry store about every third house. Just go up there, buy something to drink, and ask. Like, hey, who do I talk to? Is any of this land for sale? And chances are they just built that there, so they're going to know. But I think that's the trick, especially if you're here long term, and you can just take your time and go around. You're going to find your best deals that way, and you're going to find stuff that's not online. I'll tell you, this area in particular, there's all kinds of these around Mercedes, Zamboanga City, up by Talabaan, Culianan, all these barangays out here just kind of northeast up the coast. There's lots for sale everywhere online, which means there's probably even more for sale if you just find something like this. Whereas 2-3 years ago, it wasn't that easy. But now they're building a new airport not too far from where we're standing right here. There's that huge mosque, the Sadiq Mosque, which is bringing in all kinds of people. And they're going to do a lot of building. I tell you, if you got the money and you want to come to this area, you find out where this airport's going and you start buying up properties that you can find along the highway, and then just wait. You can build on them if you want. You can put stalls for little stores if you want. But man, in 5-10 years, that land is going to be so expensive because they're going to want to buy or build malls, hotels, restaurants. And I guarantee you, you're gonna triple your money. I don't have the money to do that, or I would. We've talked about it, but now we're kind of moving to a different part of the island. So we're gonna look for opportunities like that where we're going, as opposed to down here. I'll tell you another thing, kind of off topic here. If you look at some of these little farms around here, they're growing 6 or 7 different kinds of crops. We'll go over here and look at one. It's not monocrop agriculture here. That doesn't work. So they'll plant like bok choy. You'll see a little corn sprinkled in. You'll see eggplant, onions, all this stuff. Boy, look at this path to get up to their house up there. I bet that is a nightmare in the rain. But that's part of the reason you can eat so healthy here, because everything's fresh. Like this food here, look at this. This is all different crops. And you can see they're burning down there. It's gonna start expanding, or maybe they're just getting rid of the, yeah, it looks like they just harvested. Everything's fresh. You know, all this stuff you see at these little stalls along the road, it doesn't come from other countries or 7 states away like it does in the US. It comes from right here. It's all locally grown. Everything here is farm to table. Even the meat. So it's pretty easy to eat healthy. If you can just avoid the oils, take it easy on the rice and the noodles, which is hard to do sometimes, especially when there's a birthday every other week. But yeah, this is where you're gonna find land. This is where you wanna look. We're not too far from the city. You know, if you got your own vehicle, it's depending on where you wanna go, 20 to 30 minutes with traffic. The air's cleaner. This is where it's at. You can walk around without being shoulder to shoulder or worried about accidentally stepping out in traffic and getting crushed. Here's a little closer view. I wonder how far this goes. So where we bought our land is kind of like this. It's a little flatter, obviously, but it's out of town. We're like 10 minutes away from Polanco, 30 minutes from downtown to Polog City. So anything we need's right there. I was joking. Well, I wasn't really joking. We were talking about with the price of gas being insane like it is now. I mean, there's some places where I've seen 100 pesos per liter, which is just almost $8 a gallon. Most places now it's between 86 and 90, which is like, I don't know, less. It's this much per gallon, okay? A gallon's 3.8 liters. I know that from staring at toilets my whole life while I'm peeing. 1 gallon per flush / 3.8 liters per flush. Little fun fact. What was I talking about? Oh, the cost of gas. I think, honestly, what I'm gonna do is get an electric golf cart, like my dad's always bought for creeping through the woods hunting instead of a 4-wheeler. Now, I do know from experience there's a lot of problems that happen with those things, but it's got to be cheaper than $8 a gallon for gas. And they're going to do it here, I guarantee you, the way it works in the US. They jack this stuff up so high that then when they bring it back down, it never goes back down to what it was before. But people are happy it's not so high anymore. So now instead of being 64 liters or pesos per liter, you know, it'll be 74. But oh my goodness, at least it's not 94. Meanwhile, if it was 64 and it jumped up to 74, everybody'd be mad. So that's how the game works, in case anybody doesn't know. And then I think we're gonna get a car or a one of those mini trucks. What are those called? They're like a Isuzu 8-ton trucks. Multi-cab, that's what it is. I want one of those because I want a truck bed. But it depends how many kids we have. We may end up just buying a little car. Because you live on an island, right? I mean, we're going to be on the second biggest island in the country. So we could potentially put a bunch of miles on a car. and that would be more comfortable than a multi-cab. And everywhere delivers anyway, because no one has a truck, so I guess I don't need one. But if we have to go to Depolog City to get groceries or something, it'd be nice to have a trunk space and a little extra space, especially if we have more than one kid, and then we'll be able to get everything we need. That got off topic a little, but the point is, you gotta ask around to find some good deals on land. Because none of this was here a year ago. All this, and I even bet you all of this over here is either for sale right now or has just recently been purchased. From what I hear, it's all been bought up. But now I don't know if that's true. So if anybody knows who to talk to, he might be able to get you a good deal. But if I fly the drone around, you know, I can see little chunks like this all over the place, just in this barangay. So I bet every barangay's like that. You want to go to a smaller barangay, go just out of town and look around. Because this is just out of town. You know, that's where the land is. You're not going to find land in the middle of town because that's all been chunked up already. So you got to go to the outskirts. You know, I heard something once, years ago. Somebody said the easiest way to get rich is you go to a town that's growing and you stand in the middle of Main Street. Or you look on a map in the middle of Main Street and you go out 10 miles and draw a circle on the map and you start buying land and then wait 20 years. And in 20 years you'll be a millionaire because that town is gonna expand and they're gonna build malls and shopping centers and, you know, in this case an airport's going in way back over here. So this whole area is starting to expand and really grow. And if you got the money and you just want to invest, it's a good way to make a bunch of money in 10 years. Or it's a good way to find a cheaper place to buy, build your house. Now here's one more thing, and I want you to listen. You hear that? That's my point. You get out of town, it's a little quieter. Now you're gonna have dogs and roosters throughout the day. I don't care where you live. Unless you're in downtown, then you have motorbikes and horns and I'll take dogs and roosters. But you can't beat that breeze. I'm not inhaling diesel fumes right now. At this particular moment, I don't hear any karaoke. And I'm not that far from right over there's town, okay? What's that, 200 yards? So that's it. That's the secret, okay? You wanna find a great place to buy, a great place to live, you gotta go walk around, you gotta go talk to people. Ask everybody, because everybody's gonna know. Everybody's gonna live in a place and have something like this around them. Unless you're just a city person, stay out of the cities. Well, for me, I'm not a city person, so that's just not an option, which makes it easier to find places. Because I grew up, you know, it took 20 minutes to go grocery shopping because you had to drive 20 minutes to the store. Where we live now, I'm 10 minutes from a small town, but if I want to go to a decent sized town to do any shopping or anything, Cape Girardeau, Missouri is where I'm talking about, that's 45 minutes of driving. So that's just normal to me. So being 20, 30 minutes from town, that's nothing. For a big town. Where we bought up in Del Norte is, it's 10 minutes from any kind of grocery shopping we could ever dream of. And most of the clothes and stuff we would need, anything really, we can get in Polanco. So, you know, Depolog City would be like a date night or some special occasion or going to the airport. That's when we would go there. That's the secret. That's the real secret to finding land here is talking to people, going around and checking stuff out. You know, if you don't like to talk to everybody you meet, just get on your motorcycle, go for a ride. Check out some of these back roads and smaller barangays, and you're gonna find a place, I promise. You're gonna find a place just like this, and you're gonna be surprised how many places you find. Because everywhere you go is expanding. Especially if you're wanting to be in a bigger city like Dumaguete or Cebu or whatever, your land prices are gonna be higher unless you wanna go farther out of town. But if you just need a smaller city, because you can get everything you want in Dipolog. And also, I know things take longer here, but you can get anything you want and just have it shipped in. It's gonna take way longer, but it is possible. It's not like you're living on a deserted island in the middle of the Pacific where nobody can get anything to you. You know, here in civilization, you can still get anything you want. You just have to take different avenues sometimes. So there's my big secret. I hope this helped y'all out. We'll see you on the next one.